we take the simple aim as the before cases we have taken, that is to estimate the power spectral density of a discrete time random process by using the current method, that is the Blackman 2K approach. So very first of all, we shall try to develop the function with respect to the Blackman 2K method here. So in this untitled script, I start with the keyword function, and we expect the output of this function to hold the estimate of the power spectral density here. So therefore I denote it with the variable as the previous cases, capital P small x here, small x to represent the discrete time random process for which this power spectral density is supposed to be estimated here. Now this is equal to now the name of the function we have to mention here. So hereupon we mention Blackman underscore 2K, and here the input parameters are to be provided. The input parameters should be first of all the discrete time random process that usually we denote by simply x, and in the mathematical representation by x of n here. Now we require, as this particular process also makes the use of the windows here to be operated over the input discrete time sequence. So we require the type of the window, whether it may be the conventional rectangular one, Hamming window, Hanning window, Bartlett window, the triangular one, or that is of the type Blackman here. Now along with the variables for input cases x and the window here, we require another input variable that can be how much the size of the window we require, that is the length of the window, that can in general be denoted by capital M here. And next to that we can also have the use of this Blackman 2K approach for spectral estimation for a specific range of the data samples given into the input discrete time random process. Thereupon we can have the starting index denoted by n1 and the ending index denoted by n2. So these two indices we had the same notations in the previous techniques also. Now we have to end this function also, and whatever the body we have to develop for this particular function, this should be in between these two keywords, function and end here. Now we should have this particular script for the function Blackman 2K saved here. So we save here into the current directory the folder name ADSP here, and it has the name Blackman, so we should spell it properly, BLACKMN. So while saving Blackman underscore 2K dot M, it will be the file extension. We save it, it has been generated into the current directory, as well the name has appeared to the editor tab in the editor section here. Now before having this particular function developed, as we are all familiarized with the x to be the discrete time random process, to avoid the confusion we will write the details what we are accepting as input here. After x here we require the use of window. So window can opt the 5 different values. The first value we take for the rectangular case, the second value we take here for the Hamming type of the window, the third value we take, and that is equal to the Hanning type of the window to be operated over the signal. Next to that we have the fourth window type, and that it is the Bartlett window, and finally the last one here we opt with the number 5, that is of the Blackman type here. Now along with these variables we have capital M. So the capital M is nothing but length of the window here, length of window as we have discussed. and next to that we know n1 and n2 here. So these are nothing but the starting index and the ending index here, so no need to have a separate mention over there. Now this function is going to accept first of all the discrete time random process, so we keep the same notation x, and whatever we accept from the input arguments we take all the samples. That is why I put here colon within the pair of parentheses here, so it is assigned here. Now concerning how many number of input arguments we deal by the use of this particular function, we take the help of if command here. So for the number of input arguments here we write nargin, and thereupon if we found it to be equal to 3, so that time n1 we specify with the starting index value as equal to 1, n2 we specify the last index that we can obtain by the MATLAB syntax length operated over the discrete time random process x here, and now we can end this if function here. Now next to that we require the matrix to be operated with the help of this particular Blackman-Tukey approach, which is also known by the periodogram smoothing technique here. So that particular matrix, as we have seen in the previous video, can be denoted by capital R. So here the capital R can be obtained here by the use of the generation of the covariance matrix. So here we can take the help of the function covar, and to this particular input function we can provide the input arguments as first of all the x, whereupon the range n1 to n2 is to be operated as we have defined in the previous steps here, and here capital M plus 1 here is to be also the input argument for the generation of this covariance matrix here. Now this particular function covar is not at all there by default function into the MATLAB, that we have to generate it separately here. So for that purpose we take another untitled script first of all, and we develop that function as well. So we write first of all the function keyword, and thereupon we expect the output as just now discussed by the symbol capital R. The function name we have used thereupon, that it is covar, and now here we provide the inputs to this function x comma p. So here the p, it will be the order of the matrix that we are going to work upon. Now by the next I write the end keyword as well, and in between the function and end keyword we have to develop its body. We save it, the name covar, here it is. So covar.m, it will be the file name here that has been generated into the current directory as well. The name has appeared onto the tab window of this particular editor here. Now hereupon, as like the previous function, we accept the input of discrete time random process with all the samples that have been provided. So x is equal to x within the parenthesis colon here we have mentioned. Now the total length of this particular discrete time random process here we store with the variable name m here. That is why we write m is equal to length operated over the parameter x here. Next to that we compute the x in the sense where we subtract from the x the array of or the matrix of ones having the dimensions m comma 1, which is in the multiplication 2. Hereupon we have the sum of the samples into the x divided by the variable m, that it is the total number of samples here. So now next to that we expect the output that is to be denoted by capital R to be the covariance matrix here. So this can be generated by the use of another function, that is to have the generation of the convolution matrix. So finally we can have the autocorrelation matrix generated here. So that convolution matrix generation function, that we write to be CONV for the convolution, and here M we provide, and this is also not the function inbuilt into the MATLAB, that we have to also develop it separately here. The input parameters we provide as x, p, the order of the matrix here, and here we have it operated along with again the CONVM function having the input parameters x, p. It has been divided by, within the parenthesis we specify m minus 1 here, and at the end we give semicolon to end this syntax here. So this much of script can be saved for the function covar here. Now this covar function basically generates the covariance matrix that we have denoted by capital R. So this matrix is of the order p by p, as we have provided the second input argument parameter p here. So p by p order covariance matrix for the discrete time random process or discrete random sequence x is to be generated by this particular function. Now it is going to take the help of another function that also we need to develop here. So here we again take the untitled script, and thereupon we write the function, and as a part of this convolution matrix we require to be the output of this particular function. We denote it with the variable capital X here. The function name as we have used in the earlier function covar here, so CONVM here it is, and now this time we have the input arguments X, I repeat, and now here we have the input arguments as the previous case. Here we have the X, that it is the input discrete time random process which is to be used for the purpose of spectral estimation here. Next to that, the order of the matrix, here it is the same denotation, we have P here. So by the next line we keep the keyword end here, and in between the two keywords function and end we have to develop it. So let us save it with the name as we have given CONVM here. We save it. See, it has been generated to the current directory, and as well the name has appeared to the untitled script that it was earlier in the editor window here. So this function is supposed to generate a convolution matrix, and now for the value of the discrete time random processes denoted by X, we expect it with the length capital N. So the order of the convolution matrix we consider this time by capital N plus P minus 1 by small p here. So here capital N, as we expect the entire length of the discrete time random process, so we make the computations of capital N simply by operating the length function here, that is to be operated over X, and here it is to be added to 2 in multiplication of P minus 2 here. By the next line we accept X as the input argument, the first input argument of this particular function here, with all the data samples. Hence X is equal to X within the parenthesis, the colon here we have provided here. Next to this we have the computation of another variable where we denote it with the name xpad here, and that is the array formed by the function here we write holding the values zeros for all the samples thereupon, having the dimensions or the order you can say p minus 1 comma 1 here. Next to that we have here with the total discrete time random process sequence X, and again the array of 0 values for the dimensions p minus 1 comma 1 here. So we end this line with the help of semicolon. And now for obtaining the convolution matrix for the required order, as we have discussed thereupon, we take the help of for looping statement here. So we write the condition for the for, where we iterate with the help of the index variable I that can range, that is starting at 1 up to small p here. So by the next line, the output variable what we expect to be capital X of the dimensions, here we select colon, that is the entire length, comma I here. So this is the second dimension that is going to have iterations here. So it is nothing but the X pad, where within the parenthesis here we mention p minus, we have I plus 1 colon, that is with the range up to capital N minus I plus 1 here. So we end this syntax as well, and we end this for loop also. Only one end keyword can also be used, so in this function. So both the covariance and the convolution, these are the two functions that we have developed here, so that we can have obtained the capital R to be the matrix of our interest. Now next to have obtained the capital R this way, we have to also determine the small r that can be obtained, as here we require the complex conjugate having the flipping of the matrix either into the left or the right hand side here. So for obtaining the complex conjugate, the inbuilt MATLAB function here we are supposed to make the use of, that is conj, giving us the complex conjugate, and within the parenthesis we provide the input into the flip form. Hence I write flip LR here, and thereupon we provide the input capital R that we have from the earlier step. Within the parenthesis we specify the input range 1 comma 2 colon capital M plus 1 here. So capital M is nothing but the length of the window that we have already discussed while developing this particular function here. Now next to that we have comma capital R within the bracket 1 comma 1, again comma capital R in the bracket we have 1 comma 2 colon capital M plus 1 here. So we end this with the help of semicolon. Now we have the capital M that we require to be of the form 2 in multiplication 2, so twice of, here it is the earlier capital M plus 1 minus 1 here. Next, for the case of windows, that we can denote it initially the declaration all the values with the 1 here, hence we make the use of the function ones here, and the dimensions should be capital M comma 1. Now after pre-declaring the window function denoted by W here, we go further, and hereupon we mention by the next line the conditions for which particular window is to be selected here. So for that purpose, here we make if statement. So here the if statement, we write the input argument with the name window, here we have if it is equal to the value 2, so that time the W variable we provide for the Hamming window. So Hamming, and to which we have the dimension as discussed, that is the length of the window denoted by capital M. So if it is not the true condition that the number of input arguments that we obtain and window value to be equal to 2, hence we have to go for the another condition, hence we write else if So for else if condition, we take the variable window that is equal to the value 3 here. So in this regard, if it is equal to 3, the w variable we assign with the window type Hanning window, and thereupon we provide the input by capital M here. Again, if we have the another value for the input argument window here, as like we do here, window that is equal to we have 4. So at that particular time we assign the w for the Bartlett type of the window. So here we write Bartlett window with the total dimension or the length of the window is equal to capital M. And lastly, we make the condition where we have this window that is of the last type number 5, we assign the variable w of the Blackman type window here. So this is Blackman type window with the complete dimension. Here it is capital M. We end this line, and also we end the if else statement ladder here. Now with this window to be operated over the signal, here we have in the form of small r, we operate the small r as, here we have small r is equal to r operated by the window function this way. We end this line with the help of semicolon, and now the final task or the final aim is to have the estimate of the power spectral density by the use of this Blackman-Tukey approach, which is also called as the periodogram smoothing technique here. So we obtain capital P small x to hold this power spectral density estimate obtained as the absolute of the use of Fourier transformation, where we make the FFT syntax here for fast computation, and the input here we provide the matrix small r comma 1024 we specify for this FFT computation here. Lastly, Px of 1, this is equal to Px of 2 here, and now we end this function. So here we have already end this particular function, so no need to use 2 times the end function here. So the changes we have saved here. So we have developed here the function to carry out the power spectrum estimation by the use of the Blackman-Tukey method, and that requires 2 more functions that we have called within this function for generation of the covariance matrix and for the generation of the convolution matrix. Now here we take the another script also, and this is for the first of all generation of the discrete time random process, to operate it with the help of the function that we have developed for the Blackman-Tukey approach, and finally to plot the input discrete time random process as well the estimate of the power spectrum obtained by this method here. So here we take the untitled script. We start with close all, next to that clear CLC, so unwanted windows of the MATLAB, the unwanted variables from the previous programmings that are present into the workspace, and the command window, we all it want to be with the fresh execution, so they are all getting cleared here. Now the first module here I mentioned to be started here to generate the discrete time random process. So for generation of this discrete time random process, as we have seen the various ways, and that can be assigned to the variable x here. So these variable ways we have seen in the third topic, where we had first of all started the MATLAB demonstration to see the non-parametric type of the power spectrum estimation by the use of periodogram technique here. So now here x can be assigned manually with the different random values. So this is the one way. Let us start with, for example, 2.3, 3.4, we have 1.8, minus 0.9. So 4 values we have specified here. Next to that we can specify minus 2.5. So 5 values here we have. Next to that we can opt for 6.7. Here we have the 6.7, the sixth value. Then 4.5. Next to that minus 2.3. So 8 values here we have made the assignment of. And lastly we go for 3.4 again and minus 2.1 here. So 10 samples we have assigned to the variable x that represents a discrete time random process here. Now let us save this particular script with the name as like the before cases we have done. This is to execute underscore Blackman underscore 2k. So we save it with the .m as the file extension here, and upon execution of this particular, if you first of all execute these many statements only, we can see the workspace has now got empty, as well as the command window is also cleared here. And if we run this particular program, now we can see the x variable has been generated into the workspace with the values into this array: 2.3, 3.4, 1.8, minus 0.9, minus 2.5, 6.7, 4.5, minus 2.3, 3.4, and lastly minus 2.1 here. Now to see this graphically, the visualization we can make with the help of the function stem here. So to this stem function we can provide the input x here. Now if we again save the changes and execute this program, we expect the window to visualize the samples that we have assigned for this x here. Now I maximize this window. You can see onto the horizontal axis we have the markings from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10 here. So 10 samples. Here it is the first sample, and we have here the amplitude 2.3 as specified, the second sample with the amplitude 3.4, third sample with 1.8, fourth sample with minus 0.9, fifth sample with minus 2.5, sixth one, here we have the sixth one that is holding 6.7, the seventh one 4.5, eighth one we have minus 2.3, ninth one we have 3.4, and lastly the 10th one holds the amplitude minus 2.1 here. So this way we can have the generation of the discrete time random process. We have another way also, so that is the use of the function RANDN here. So this we first of all comment the execution of this particular spectral estimation technique. We test on both of the signals, the one what we have generated denoted by x, the another that we can generate with the function RANDN here, whereas the input dimensions we provide 1,100 here. Now we end it with the help of semicolon, and now we can simultaneously also visualize the graphical representation of the x by this random function here. Saving the changes and executing this particular program, you can see here into the workspace the variable x that it had earlier the dimensions of the 10 samples only, as here in the previous case, now has changed to the dimensions 1 by 100 of the type double here. And here we have the window that has its particular plot. The first sample here with 0.1832 amplitude, second sample with the amplitude minus 1.03, the third one with the amplitude here we have 0.9492. So this way we can go for all these many data samples in this discrete time random process, having the 100 samples in all here. Now for such discrete time random process, after having a plot displayed, for the input case. Now it's time to have the module of the spectral estimation here. So I just mention a comment. This is spectral estimation. So for the purpose of spectral estimation, we have to call the function that we have developed here upon the Blackman_2k.m as the file extension here. So the output we expect to be the estimate of power spectral density, that it is denoted by capital P small x. So it is called upon with the function name I mentioned here, Blackman_2k, whereas the input parameters, as we can see in this particular case, so this can be the first one, the very essential, that is the discrete time random process x, along with the type of the window, then length of the window denoted by capital M, then the starting index and ending index. If we don't specify the starting index n1 and ending index n2, so that time it is to be operated over the entire length of the discrete time random process x here. Now at this particular time, I just give the input parameters to be x, the random process that we have generated currently by this particular function, along with the window type. If the conventional case, we select simply the 1, and the length of the window if we specify with the value 5 here. So this way we can call upon this Blackman2k function to carry out the spectral estimation here. We save the changes and we expect the variable px generated into the workspace along with this variable x as the input discrete time random process. So here we save and execute this program. You can see this is the figure 1. This time with the help of this random function, this is what 0 to 100 samples here we have for x with different amplitudes onto the positive as well as the negative side. As I close this, and you can check the workspace where we have the two variables. The first one px that has been generated because of the last statement in this MATLAB script here, and here it holds the dimensions 1024 by 1 of the type double here. So we expect that the estimate of the power spectral density for the discrete time random process denoted by x of n has been generated here. Now it's time to have plot of the same here. So I just mentioned the comment to start with this module, that it is to plot the spectral estimate. So for plotting the spectral estimate, we can simply make the use of first of all the keyword figure to opt the separate window, and the simple function here it is plot. The input parameter should be capital Px that has been obtained by calling upon the Blackman2k method here. So if we save this particular change and if we run this particular program, we expect the two windows, first for the input discrete time random process x of n and the second for the spectral estimate by simple plot function here. So here we have the figure 1, the input process, and the second is its corresponding power spectral estimate. So I maximize the power spectral estimate window here. So up to 1024 sample here. So we have to go for the last. We have obtained the values corresponding to this spectrum and the power content here. So now in terms of the decibels, if we require, instead of having this particular way, we can take first of all the figure keyword. Next to that, we again make the use of plot command, and this time the input will not be simply the px, but it will be the 10 in multiplication to log to the base 10 operated over this capital P small x here. So we save the changes and run this particular program. Now you can see here for this type of the input by the random function, we have obtained the corresponding spectral estimate plotted into the decibels. So here for this particular window as well, we can label that comma, we write y label. Here we write within the pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes the magnitude space that is denoted in terms of decibels, so small d capital P, here it is, saving the change and running this particular program. So here we find this is the figure 1, that is the discrete time random process, and this is the second figure. So here we have plot of the spectral estimate, and that is of course in terms of the decibels. Onto the vertical axis you can see this marking up, and from the maximum value 4 onto this graph in terms of decibels up to -2 into the negative side, we have the plot of the values corresponding to 1024 samples here into the frequency domain. The last amplitude that we show with the value 3.236 here. So the curvature that we can see in this particular graph, and the last way to plot the particular spectral estimate is with respect to having the horizontal axis in terms of the frequency values of the hertz here. So thereupon we can mention it to be figure keyword along with the plot command, and to this plot command along with the px we give the input as small f as a frequency parameter, which has to be first of all predefined. So here for example f can be defined as, let us say for example high in multiplication 2, within the parenthesis we keep the range 0 to 1023, and this is totally divided by 1024, the total number of samples into the frequency domain after computation by the concerned method here. So I just save it and run this particular program. So here we can see the first window, the input discrete time random process generated, and here it is the second window where we have the markings from 0 to 5 with the intervals of 0.5 at each case, that is the half intervals have been marked onto the horizontal side. So this is all in terms of the hertz value of the frequency here. So this is the curvature that we maximize for the spectral estimation obtained for the given discrete time random process here. Now the generation of the discrete time random process we had by the two ways, by the use of this function as well the manual assignment of values to the variable x. So if we have these 10 samples and we keep the same parameters to call upon the Blackman-Tukey method, so we run this particular program. Now you can see here for the same case of the rectangular window that has been operated over the signal that has been generated as discrete time random process, that you can see onto the left side window figure 1. So here we have the plot of the spectral estimate here of the last type, where again we have the frequency values into the hertz for 0 to 5 here. Now as we have used the rectangular type of the window, if we go for the opt of the second type, we have this change saved here and running this particular program. Now we can get the nature of the spectral estimate that has been changed as compared to the earlier one. So this way we can opt the various windows to be operated over the signal. These windows are the rectangular window, Hamming window, Hanning window, Bartlett window and Blackman window, and with the help of this function that we have developed along with generation of the covariance matrix and convolution matrix here, the execution of the Blackman-Tukey method that we have completed with the demonstration here in the MATLAB environment.